All right, I'm gonna try to do this in one take. You're seeing a mountain here. We have a produce problem. By we, I mean me, okay? I'm gonna own that. I get really excited when the weather is telling me to buy all of the nice, pretty produce, whether it be in bags or not. If it is vegetable in nature, I'm buying it, and I may have overbought, which means I will have to figure this out. Here's what happened. Hi, I'm Lindsay. This is the Plant Plan, and on this channel, I like to eat for my goals. And I want to bring you along. I want to help you do the same. For me, those goals are partially aesthetic, partially health, right? I want to be swole, right? So I'm eating for muscle gain and to maintain my fat loss. And if you're in the same boat, welcome. You might want to stick around, so hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm also here for people who may be on their weight loss journey or have just started. Welcome. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you have your notifications on to see what shenanigans I come up with. Usually on this channel, we have a plan. This week was a staycation week, and part of that staycation involved actually kind of restructuring the kitchen island situation here. It's a very small New York City kitchen, and this is an island that I bought and built in this room, and so I've just kind of switched it around a little bit. Hopefully it's going to work out for us. It looks very cramped now because I have a mountain of produce that I have to figure out how to use, and that brings me back to my original statement. I have a produce problem. I normally have a plan. I normally go in and plan. But what happened was that, again, this was a staycation weekend, and I knew that I would be eating out more often than I normally do on a regular week because I'd be out and about in the town. I took long, lovely walks in Central Park and around my neighborhood, and I met up with friends, and I was here, there, and everywhere. So I did not cook as much at home as I normally do. So I have some stuff from previous weeks backed up into this week and in this coming week. I also went to the farmer's market twice, and I just came home from BJ's. Well, not just came home. I kind of went to the movies in between and I hung out with a friend and all. It was a long story. But I've just now come home with the groceries after some of them have been refrigerated at my friend's place because we were like, let's go to the movies. We saw Sinners. If you haven't seen Sinners yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? After this, you're going to drop a comment telling me how you're going to run out immediately to see Sinners. But in any case, I have all this food. I did not go in with a plan, and some things are kind of coming in from the previous week. Some things I've used up, some things I have already kind of incorporated in some meals that I just had throughout the week. But a lot is left over. And so I'm going to go through all the things that I have and all the things that I have that are going to bring me into this week. So where should I start? There's so much going on. I'll actually start with stuff that I already had prior to this shop. So I always have a million tofus in the house, right? And they're coming from Lidl. It's the house brand at Lidl. They're $1.55. It's the extra firm tofu, so I buy several of them every time I go. So with that, I make various things. Most of the time, I just cut it up and use it in my meals for, as the protein source. Other times, I will use it to make condiments, dips, sauces, things like that. So I made, I should have taken that out. I made another one of my tofu cream cheese, or you could make it into like a ricotta, you can make it into a dip, whatever you want to call it. It's not actually cheese, so whatever function it is, and however you want to make that texture, that's what you use it for. I used it as a cream cheese replacement, so that's what I did. I also took a portion of that block of tofu and I made more of a like kind of mayo adjacent spreadable dip type of thing that I've been using for, I don't know, I've been using it in sandwiches and things like that. So that's what this is. This also had some of that vegan mayo that you would have seen in the last video. The first round of going to the farmer's market was last Saturday. And so there, I only bought a few things. I bought kale and I bought beets, and I brought bread. That bread was amazing. And I'm going to be buying bread from them very often. In fact, today I got bread from them again. I said I was going to go through all the old stuff first, but I've mentioned the bread. And I can't leave you hanging. This, yes, I've washed my hands. This is a whole wheat sourdough bread in like a Pullman style. I'm gonna slice this up, freeze it, and have a great time this week eating it. Oh my God, this is from a bakery upstate. I think it's called like Hawthorne Valley or something like that, Hawthorne Valley Farms. I think they also have I don't know if it's a farm or if it's like a market type thing upstate as well. They sell all sorts of stuff. That's one of them, and that's going to be a purchase that I make as many weeks as possible, okay? But I also bought beets, yellow beets, at another farm stand that was there, and I've already kind of air fried it. I wrapped it in foil, air fried it for maybe 30 minutes, and I sliced up the cooked one, and I've been using these in sandwiches. Underrated, very underrated, having beets in your sandwich. Try it. In fact, I just had a sandwich when I got back. I was famished. I just had a sandwich with beets, the remains of the previous loaf of bread, and Eve's. I love this veggie bologna, this plant-based veggie bologna. I still had this. The rest of the bologna is in the refrigerator, but I'm just using this label here. This, if you're wondering about the macros, so a serving size is 3 slices. That's 60 calories, 1 gram of fat, 2 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of protein. Pretty good. Along with some of the tofu spread, maybe a gram or 2 from the bread. You can make a little snack or a little meal out of it if you wanted to see that. The sodium is, it's fake meat. Like, okay, we're gonna we're gonna relax and we're gonna do what we can. That I got from a natural food store. I've decided to try to send some more of my dollars to the local mom and pop health food stores. When I can, where I can. There's one downtown, I think it's called A Matter of Health, and I just joined their membership. It's free. You just give them your number, just like any grocery store, and you accumulate points and things like that. Something I didn't know about. It's kind of off of my beaten path, so it'll be like a purposeful thing to go down there, but they had so many options. They had, and the the store was very friendly and the layout was nice, and I'll probably find myself there every once in a while. But in any case, the reason why I want to support these stores is because they have been the OGs in the vegan space, really, if you think about it. They've been around since forever, and they have always been where you can find what you need: vegetable protein sources, good organic veg, all sorts of, herbs and spices that you may not find in your regular, run-of-the-mill grocery store. And I always love shopping in them. I always find products that you don't normally find, such as this. Right now, of course, you can find tempeh. I'm trying to get the good lighting here because it's kind of like grainy. So, oh, here we go. So this is a soy tempeh from a company called Soy Boy. I believe this is a New York company. Is that correct? Northern Soy Incorporated, Rochester, New York. They've been around forever. There is another brand, Light Life, I believe. You're gonna find tempeh in every grocery store, and I believe even the Trader Joe's one is probably Light Life. Is that correct? Someone correct me in the comments. I mean, I can't imagine who else would be supplying them, because they are everywhere. And I don't remember liking it too much. I know tempeh is one of those where you kind of have to learn how you like to cook it, the texture that you like. But I thought, I saw it there. It was a decent price. It was like maybe like $2.99 or something like that. And so I thought, okay, let me try another brand. And I know that I probably should be incorporating more tempeh into my diet. It is a fermented soybean. They often say cake when they're describing it, but that feels weird calling this a cake to me. It's a fermented soy patty. What they do is they cook the soybeans, they lay them out flat, they put some vinegar to make sure that there's no like bad bacteria and things like that growing in it, and then they put a tempeh culture, right? So just the same way that you would do yogurt or something like that, they put the culture in it and then just let it ferment over time. And and so that's what tempeh is, if you're not familiar. It is a bit of an acquired taste. Personally, I think even more than tofu. Tofu for me was something that I enjoyed well before I was even vegetarian. So the texture is a little bit different, and there's kind of like this, it's fermented, so it's a little funky. But I'm also aware that kind of every brand is a little bit different. And certainly, if you're making it yourself, it has a different flavor. Apparently, purportedly has a less of a funky aftertaste if you make it yourself. But I don't, yogurt I'll do, but I don't know about all these other fermented stuff. I get a little scared when there's microbes that I'm growing myself in my home and I'm eating it. But one day I will. But for this week, I'm going to try this in a couple of meals. So the serving, it's 2.5 servings per container. That means it's 2. Stop. Each serving has 17 grams of protein, 9 grams of carbs, 4 of which are fiber, and then 4.5 grams of total fat. 4 of those are unsaturated fats. So you're getting the good healthy fats, you're getting the good carbs, and you're getting the good proteins. Everything's good about tempeh, so you should try some. When I had tempeh before and I liked it, I made a barbecue tempeh. Kind of just let it simmer in the pan in the barbecue. How else did I have it? I had it just like plain fried once, and that was fine. And then, you make your kind of like bacon flavor tempeh and stuff. That never interested me too much, but maybe I'll try it again. I'll have to figure out some plan for this relatively soon. I have until the end of June, so yeah, I mean, it'll last. I'll probably use it within the next 2 weeks. So there's that. Okay, on the protein train, you saw I picked up a bunch of these. I only have one here, but I picked up a bunch. Believe you me. I got 1 block of this Trader Joe's super firm tofu. This one has, well, the whole block has about 70 grams. So sometimes I'll just cut it in half and have 35 grams protein, call it a day for the meal. But I'll find out what I want to do with that. I was thinking maybe this time I'll just slice it and make sandwiches. I'm on a sandwich kick, as you know. I've totally derailed my whole go over the things that I had first, but we'll just go step by step here, or product by product, going this way. This green curry paste, there was a red one as well. I've started using that. I made a red Thai curry last night with some of my homemade seitan and some vegetables that I had on hand, and I plan to make red curries throughout the week, and then green curries maybe the following week. So there's that. There's whatever. Imagine this packet but red. I used a little bit for 1 serving. So imagine this, but red. It's pretty much what it was. Okay. A sweet potato from the fruit cart guy. If I think about it, I'll kind of put an image here of my fruit cart guy, because I tried to take a little vloggy shot of him. And then I have very precariously placed over there, so I won't pick it up, but bag of onions, also from said fruit cart guy, who obviously has more than fruit, but fruit cart just sounds good. Anyway, I also got radishes from the farmer's market the first time around. So there's some radishes here. Again, I've been using these in sandwiches. I had them with the tofu cream cheese sandwiches. I layered that on along with some cucumber, crunchy, soft, you know, fresh. It's a sandwich, boom. And so we'll keep going this way. I got this guy again. This is a hit, y'all. Also, this was on sale. They had an offer to take off $1.50. It's not cheap. This whole tub was like $9, I think. But with the $1.50 off, it made it a little bit more enticing for me to buy it again. And also, this was a great salad dressing. And that's what I plan on doing again with it, with kale greens. So I bought a whole big bag of kale greens, and that's the plan for that. I am in a greens kick. I mean, I'm always in a greens kick. That's such a ridiculous statement to make, but I have a lot of greens. I'll usually just get 1 type of green for the week, or maybe 2, and then keep it pushing. But this time I have a lot. I have some Dino kale, aka Cavolo Nero, aka what's the other name for this? Tuscan kale, aka there's another name for it. I've never seen a green with so many damn AKAs. It's crazy. Also, the other day I learned that in Australia, y'all call Swiss chard. What is the name that I heard that woman saying? She called it something, and the whole time, and it was already chopped. So I was like, what is this green that she's talking about that we can't have up here? That's crazy. I have to find this. And then I'm scrolling down the comments, and someone said, oh, today I learned that such and such is called, oh, what is that thing called? If I remember it, I'll put it up here. But I was so shook. I was like, wow, you learned something. It'll be one language. And it's as if we're speaking a whole different language. I love that about humans. We're a wonderful species. I know I'm vegan, but I think humans are my favorite animal. They're horrible, they're wondrous, they're strange. They are diverse. They are bananas. And they're fun. So fun. One thing, 50 names, it's wonderful. I don't even have Swiss chard. Why am I talking about it? Okay, wasting your time. We have this guy. I think my favorite name for this is Cavolo Nero. It just sounds like sexy. I don't know. Okay, and then I also got these spring onions or scallions. Oh, look at that. another AKA. Yo, greens are so gangsta. They got a street name, they got a government name. Like, anyway, these, I like to put these, I'm not the biggest fan of plastic bags, but as you can see, it is what it is. I do have some stasher bags, like silicone bags, good high quality, but you know, I'll usually put like my lunch stuff in there, and I don't know, it is what it is, folks. I try to reuse them when I can and wash them and things like that, but we're living in, I'm doing the best I can. Anyway, so I like to put these in there with a paper towel to capture some of the moisture, as you can see or not. There's some moisture in there, so I'll open it up, kind of wipe it, maybe I'll put it in a paper towel. Also the paper towels, I'm trying. I really, truly am. Okay, so what else? Mushrooms. Mushrooms because stir fries and curries. Need I say more? No, I don't, so I won't. Little gem lettuce. This one is from Trader Joe's for my sandwiches. Sandwich kick. We're doing it. We're doing it. I also got this. This is from BJ's. I don't know if I have featured this on here before, but I love these grilled vegetables. They are so easy to make, either on the pan or in the air fryer. Just throw a handful of them in there. Actually, you can see my air fryer now because of my new setup. So it'll be around. Maybe I don't know, I'll probably take it out for most of the stuff. But yeah, so these usually I just throw them in there. And I figure that they'll probably be good as a side or on sandwiches or even, well, no, I won't put them in the curries because, oh, drum roll. Oh, by the way, this is 4 pounds, 4 pounds of this. Can you imagine? This is gonna last me forever. Okay, so I won't use those in the curries because I have some onions and peppers. So I have the onions and green peppers in here, and then the orange and red peppers in here. I've already pre-diced them up so that I can, you know, just use them whenever I need them. Actually, that's a really great example of something that I want to express. On weeks where I don't make the meals and prep them already, or I don't cook ingredients, like ingredient prep, I will do as much as I can when I have the energy to prepare myself to be able to cook. Does that make sense? So for example, if I did not chop up those vegetables, I would be less likely to make the curries when it comes to dinner time, right? So I went ahead and I chopped up a bunch of onion, well, not, maybe that was like 2 really big onions I chopped into kind of slivers that I would like to have in my curries. And I went ahead and sliced up the peppers as well. So when I need them, they are there and it's easy. Making a curry, it may sound fancy to a lot of people, but it's really just chopping the vegetables, throwing them in the pan with whatever the sauce is, cook, throw your protein in, boom, you have the meal, right? I mean, unless if you're making the curry from scratch, but you must not understand me. One day I will, when I'm getting creative. There's some things I'm creative with and then some things I'm not. If it is like 50 ingredients to be putting in there and chopping and doing no, not when I can buy the curry for $2 at Lidl, okay? Or just go to a Thai restaurant where they are really putting the love and the energy in it, right? But for simple home cooking, I'm not going to break myself. So that was one thing I did. Now, I realized that I was really missing out by not having broccoli at home. I did have a small amount of broccolini. I don't know why this was trying to communicate broccolini. Well, they're longer. So I had some broccolini, but it was a very small portion, like enough for 1 or 2 meals, right? And so I was like, oh, I'm really gonna be sad not having broccoli in there, and that'd be horrible. And then I had one without the broccoli, and I was like, oh. So I got broccoli. I would normally get the frozen broccoli, but I didn't remember how much space I had in my freezer. Here's another pro tip. Take a photo before you leave for the grocery store. Take a photo, I often do this, of the inside of your fridge and the inside of your freezer. This is very helpful for 3 reasons. 1, you get to see how much space you have, or remember how much space you have, like have a visual representation of that instead of like, oh, I think I can fit it. 2, it's a very quick and easy way of not having to go through and itemize everything you have. You can be like, oh, right, I have this, let me not buy that. Oh, what is that in the back? Yes, okay, I have it. And 3, it saves a lot of time actually, right? Well, I mean, it's kind of, the last 2 are paired, right? Where you don't have to kind of go in and see what you have, and then kind of decide that way, like I had been showing you and doing before. The way I was doing it before, and in some of my very early videos of kind of like saying all the things that I had, writing them out, was just to show you an example and to kind of just kind of show you like the long way of doing it so that you can understand the process that I do. But a lot of times I'm just taking a photo. For real, I'll just be taking a photo of the inside of my fridge, and then as I'm shopping or on my way to the shop, I have my Notepad app or Google Tasks app open, and then typing in the rest of what I need for the meals that I've already decided that I want. Boom, okay? But this time I didn't. I was out in the streets, okay? I was out in the streets already. So I said, ooh, don't know what my freezer's looking like. So I have this. You can always freeze these yourself, right? From the fresh version, and then just do what you gotta do. But for now, I just have this just in case, because I'd rather have this and then freeze it than have frozen ones that can't fit. Now I have to thaw and like I don't know. Okay. Also on this side, I have these, I just had a shoulder workout. Let's not be doing that. That's, so this is the unflavored, unsweetened, unflavored. No! Is this vanilla? Unsweetened original. I saw the flower and I was like, if that's a vanilla flower, I will jump out this window. But I won't, because everything's fine. I also got this guy. Again, this is for me like a sleeper hit, really. Like this is an underrated part. Like I know they have their burgers, which are really good. I know they have like all the chicken stuff that they're doing now and the breaded this and the that and the third. They're all fine and delicious, but this is the one that I keep returning to most often. It is so easy to cook. It's, you know, the macros are really good. There's like 2 grams of fiber. I mean, you know, 2 grams of fiber is not gonna, it's nothing to write home about, but it's something. It's more than a lot of these other stuff out here, right? And only 1 gram of saturated fat. They actually give you the the unsaturated fat breakdown, 1 gram of poly and 4 grams of mono unsaturated fat. So I think that's pretty cool that they can break that down. So that's that. And then I already showed you the kale greens, and this time I also have collard greens. Because why not? Collards are fantastic. Now, let's talk about what the hell I'm doing with all of these. Because this time I have not thought about it. I really haven't. I guess I did a little bit. I knew I wanted this because it was on sale, and I knew I wanted to have a fresh salad. So I have the kale greens. So those are those 2 items accounted for. These collard greens have a date with this guy right here. Sweet potatoes and collard greens, and this guy right here, you know, steak, collard, sweet potato, boom. I may have to buy another sweet potato from my guy up the street, up the road. The broccoli florets, the peppers and onions, possibly either the tofu or the tempeh, and the mushrooms. Please don't fall. That is going to be the curries that I will have throughout the week. Oh, I also have, pause for dramatic effect. I also have the coconut milk. So I got one thing of light coconut milk from Trader Joe's. Why did I get the light one? They were sitting next to each other, and I don't know what happened. The light is just watered down. So I got robbed at Trader Joe's. I got robbed. But in any case, that's what I have, you know, whatever, it is what it is. I put it in this jar, the rest of it, because, you know, obviously it's in a can. I only needed a little bit for the 1 serving or 2 servings that I was making. And I have it in this, I can't remember where I got this cup. It's a little glass jar, a drinking jar from Jameson, and, or Jameson. And I've been using it ever since for stuff. And then this is the rest of the red curry that's in there. So so those would be all the curry vegetables going on. And then I'll be making sandwiches. So I think I'll probably use this for a few sandwiches, and or with the rest of the eves. I think I have 2. This has 3 servings, right? Yeah, I have 2 more servings of this, or I might just make that one big old sandwich. Who's to say? Along with the beets and these right here. Actually, y'all, these things figure out themselves sometimes. Oh, and then this, of course, can live in the freezer. I'll probably have that along with the sweet potato bowl, the steak and sweet potato bowl, every now and again. The kale, I may also, well, this kale, this cavolo, that I might also have that with some collards, or have that with these Mediterranean veg. You know, it's a Mediterranean green, Mediterranean veg, This will be garnished as needed. Some of these might go into the freezer if I'm not using everything, right? Like the radishes, I may slice them and do something with them, or roast them even. I don't know. Well, what do you do? Tell me what you do with radishes, because I only wanted a few for sandwiches, and that's a lot. Like when you I started slicing the first one, I was like, oh, this is a lot of radishes. Do you roast them? What else do you do with radishes? I'm just used to having them sometimes in salads, which for me is kind of boring. Like you just have a radish in your salad, or slicing them onto sandwiches, but I have too much for that. Tell me what I should do with them. I'll chop these up, and I'll probably throw those in the freezer as well. You can always use those, maybe not to garnish after they've been frozen, but to kind of cook and saute in something later on in the week. They'll also be probably used in my curries at some point, maybe as a garnish while they're still fresh, or as I'm sauteing the veg. I may not use all of this, but I might saute whatever's left over. You know, there are ways to preserve and use when I'm not using this week. The broccoli, again, can go in the freezer. I had way more room in the freezer than I thought. The mushrooms will not go to waste. They will all be used this week. I promise you that. I really do. Oh, I haven't thought of breakfast. What will I do for breakfast? Well, I have a lot of fixings for the tofu scramble. So maybe that might be something. I have plenty of oat milk. I have plenty of almond milk. That could be for oatmeal, right? I have oatmeal. I have plenty of chia seeds. One of these is chia seeds and cinnamon and cardamom. So I could do that. In here I have lots of vanilla protein shakes and things like that. So that'll be that. For breakfast, I will probably have oatmeal or a tofu scramble. I'll probably use this for that tofu scramble because I have several of the extra firm tofu that I'll use for curries and things like that. For lunch and or dinner, I'll have the curries. For dinner and or lunch, I will have a sandwich or the steak bowls. And I feel like I've been repeating a lot of these meals throughout this explanation here. Okay, so I have a lot of food and I have a lot of time to get through all of this stuff. I eat a lot because I'm trying to build a body here. Okay, so I hope this has given you some ideas. I hope this was at least interesting. Do you have a BJ's membership? Tell me what you get at BJ's. I feel like that one is not as, well, I know for a fact that one is not as big as Costco. I was toying around with getting a Costco membership, but I feel like, because Costco has a lot of products that I would like to get, that I can use week by week. They are, I believe they're a little bit more vegan friendly, honestly. A lot of these are repeat offenders in my household, a lot of the stuff that I have here. But I feel like Costco has a broader range of stuff. I've only visited twice in the recent years. So, and then of course there's plenty of Costco hauls and things like that online. So, yeah, they don't really, the one by me doesn't really let you peruse or come on in without having the card. So I would love to maybe like get a day pass or something like that, or if one of my friends lets me tag along to see really what they have, to see if it makes sense for me to either switch over or add that along with my BJ's membership. But as you can see, I'm doing pretty well with what I've got. A couple of things that I would really like, that I know I would get probably every week, is they have at Costco, they have those like canned cold brew coffee. I got one once when I went with a friend, one of those 2 times that I mentioned. I got that. I think it comes in like a pack of 15 or 12 or something. Was it the best coffee? Absolutely not. It was Kirkland. Like absolutely not the best, like not, you know, third wave coffee type stuff, right? But it was so convenient, especially when I'm waking up super early for the gym. That's the pre-workout I use, and that will be like my 1 caffeinated cup of coffee in the day. So those go a long way when I'm going to the gym like 3 times a week. That'll be my coffee that day, and I don't have to like make coffee or prepare it the night before to have something before I leave at like 6 a.m. or something, right? So so that would be helpful to me. The ones at BJ's all have milk in them. They all have milk in them. Or they are the ones that come in like the 32 ounce, you know, when you think about it, it's kind of like, you know, okay, I can make that at home type of thing. And it's just, you can't like grab it and go and drink it. You have to already, like, there's a step to prepare it for yourself already, a portion. So, so that's something that I would definitely have. I know that they have a lot more protein options. They have the packs of 4 tofu. When you think about it, I can get it cheaper at other places actually, you know, at the Lidl, you know, at Trader Joe's, if you're kind of crunching numbers like that. But to get a 4-pack all at once. That's super convenient. And their produce is a little better. Their bread, I think from what I remember, they had a lot of different bread options and things like that. In any case, it would be something that I would love to partake in, especially because it's a really good company, and I like what they're standing for. And well, what I know of, I don't know, drop it in the comments if you found something else out about them. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with what I have, and I'm going to eat a lot of greens this week. I love to see it. Okay, well, if you have any other ideas of how I can remix some of this stuff, if you've seen like 2 or 3 items and you're like, oh, that would make a great blank, let me know. I'm always on the lookout for how to remix vegetables into another type of meal that I can enjoy, because the point here is to eat more plants, more protein, and more plants. And that's it. That I could just end the channel right here. That's it. That's the message. That's the message. Okay, well, hopefully this was entertaining. Hopefully you had some fun, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.